Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the random review series. DBougie86 here again. Yes, guys, it's that time for the random review. It's been a while since I did a random review on my channel, and I wanted to get back into doing reviews for my channel also because of the long break that I took on the channel. So I'm going to try to get at least maybe like a few a month in. So the first one we got for you guys today is a film from 1991. It was released last year from Scream Factory and a Blu-ray, and it's a very interesting film. It's based off a short story by H.P. Lovecraft, and it's entitled The Resurrected. Yes. This film, of course, is directed by Dan O'Bannon. If you don't know who Dan O'Bannon is, he's probably most nobly known for directing Return of the Living Dead, and also for his screenwriting work. He wrote the screenplays for Alien, Dead and Buried, and Life Force, to name a few of the various cult movies that Dan O'Bannon has partaken and written the screenplays for. So, yeah, pretty much the main plot of this one, we're introduced to our main setup of our lead investigator, Detective John Marsh, as he's hired by Mrs. Ward, who has a husband named Charles Dexter Ward, who's played by Chris Sarandon, and pretty much the gist of it is he's gone missing. He was doing experiments with this mysterious doctor figure, and they don't know what his whereabouts are, so she hires this private detective to study and follow and try to find out what happened to her husband. And during his investigation, they do end up finding Dexter Ward, and they find out the main scheme of what Dexter Ward has done. That's pretty much the gist of it without going too crazy into it. Now, my thoughts on the film. Great atmosphere in this one. If you haven't seen this film before, it has a very Lovecraftian feel to it, which it should because it's based off of H.P. Lovecraft short story, and I'm not really sure how well of an adaptation it is to it, but it does a very good job to get the Lovecraft mythos within the film, especially with what's going on within it. And great performances. John Terry plays John Marsh. Great. He's a very cool detective character. And I like his little sidekicks in the film, like his secretary and his buddy that he does investigations with, who does deeper research for him. And I also like the character of Mrs. Ward, who this woman who's just wants to find out what happened to her husband, and we find out it actually becomes this love triangle between the detective, the wife, and Dexter Ward's character, where he has feelings for her pretty much, as we see as the film progresses. Very interesting story, I have to say, the one with this one goes, because I wasn't expecting where it was going to go, and it's fucking phenomenal. I love the setup, and just the payoff is great. The ending of this film is fucking awesome. The entire third act of this film is nonstop, and it has some great effect shots and some great gore and body horror type things that happen within it, without giving really too much away, because this one's a very interesting film, because you just want to talk about it, but you can't really spoil enough if you haven't seen it already, because of the aspect of how the ending happens within the film, which I'll give one little tidbit away. I usually hate this in films, but it didn't really ruin anything for me because of the way the ending happened. It starts with what happens at the very end, and it's pretty much John Marsh telling the story of the events that happened prior to the ending of the beginning of the film, pretty much, which I usually do hate in these films because of these type of stories, because of the way that with a huge group of people, you know who's gonna die and what's gonna happen. But the way that the beginning of this film is, it didn't go in that direction at all, and I was kind of surprised that it didn't. So I highly enjoyed the beginning of this film, which I would usually hate in certain aspects of other films like this one. So Yeah, really crisp direction, great cinematography, great effects. The effects are top notch in this film. It's the reason why you want to check out like these type of like Lovecraft stories and to begin with, like Reanimator and From Beyond. This fits perfectly into that category of films, and the effects do too. So if I had to rate The Resurrected, very solid acted film, great cinematography, great effects, and very interesting lighting choices, especially at the end, which I really enjoyed, especially with like the aspect of the catacomb areas that they end up journeying in, and the way those scenes play out, especially with the lighting and what happens with the lighting in that film and that sequence. So if I had to rate it, I really enjoyed this film. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's a highly enjoyable watch, and the transfer is great from Scream Factory. Loaded with special features. We have interviews with like Jane Sibbett, who plays Mrs. Ward in the film. And we have interviews with archival interviews with Chris Sarandon, the makeup effects artist Todd Masters, and other people that were involved with the film, which makes this a stellar release. And if you haven't seen it, very underrated film, especially from the early 90s, which a lot of people probably never talked about this film because it didn't have a release before. So, yeah, awesome shit from Scream Factory. So, 9 out of 10 for The Resurrected. Alright guys, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, we'll be back next time with another video for you guys. As always, check out Top 5 Fridays. That video will be posted on Friday. So I'll see you then, guys. Peace out.